Hello and welcome to Bo Beats. My name is Bo and this is a channel about music production and creativity. So in this video I will talk about my number one tip for beginner music producers and even beginner artists as well. So first let me just give you a little bit of my background. I've been making music for over 15 years. I think we're up to 17 years now or something. I started when I was about 12 or 13 with Euro dance and house type music and also, got into some hip hop. And over these years I've come to realize a lot about my own creative process that I think could be helpful to you as well. So my number one tip here to a beginner music producer is something that really applies to myself. It's something I've struggled with, for the longest of time and something that I really need to work on. And that is that you should not spend a lot of time asking people on the internet or in real life for feedback on your music. It's that simple. And I will explain to you why and what you should do instead. So the first reason why you shouldn't ask random people on the internet for feedback is because chances are they are not knowledgeable, they're not skilled. I mean, even if you would ask me about things, I'm not skilled in every particular aspect of creating music. Heck, I'm not even sure if I'm skilled in any of them, That's up to you to decide. But from my standpoint, I shouldn't be the first person you ask for advice. And I will get to what you should do instead. Also, being a professional psychotherapist as I am, I have to tell you, asking people advice about your creative decisions or any decisions in your life for that matter will most likely net you a response that says more about the other person's preferences, their agenda, their motives, what they want for their life, their goals and so on. So you should be a bit careful when asking for advice because what you get back is not objective truth about what you're doing. It's also very likely that you have your own reason why you ask for advice on, say, a forum. And this can become a never-ending circle of feedback. Say, for example, that you're insecure about what you're doing, and that's totally cool. That's, I've gone through that. I'm still insecure about a lot of things I'm doing creatively. If you ask people for feedback, they will look at your work critically, which means that you will receive criticism. You will receive feedback that is critical, and that might trigger more insecurity in you, giving you more things to fix with your song or with your video, with any creative process. In turn, making you ask for more feedback. Is this okay? Is this good enough? And it's like this never-ending circle of being insecure. And I think you have to, break away from that if it fits you. Or it could be this, which fits my personality a bit better. It could be that you ask for feedback because you want attention. I know, I've done it so much. I'm an attention seeker. I've always been that. It's not something I will likely change anytime soon. So if you post things on the internet to get attention, you either get attention, which in turn makes you post more things on the internet, often unfinished things, saying, oh, give me feedback. And when you get feedback, you feel good because you get attention, which leads to you not really needing to finish a song. It becomes this never-ending circle of, demos. And I've been stuck there for several years when I was younger, never really completing anything because I was fine, getting the praise that I got from forums. But then on the other hand, it could be the case that you don't get any feedback and then you will feel bad, like, oh, this isn't good enough, this isn't, worth anybody's time or something like that. And so that's sort of demotivating. So instead you'll have to learn how to not rely on people's feedback, but we'll get to that. Asking for feedback is a super good way to procrastinate. You do a demo, you put it up, you tell yourself that you're waiting for the needed feedback in order to advance. But you don't know really what kind of feedback you need. So you're just sitting there waiting for, your insecurity to diminish or your your self-worth to be boosted by people's attention or something like that. You know, I've been there. I'm still there some days. You know, some days when I'm feeling down, I post something, and you know, the attention, it gives a lot of us happiness. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this. You know, being an artist in some sense is a bit narcissistic. You know, it's not a personality disorder, but it's more on the narcissistic side of things. So what should you do instead? Well, firstly, focus on your craft. Don't focus on the feedback from other people. And how do you do that? Well, by not posting unfinished things and asking for feedback. You have to stop that behavior, and you have to focus on, you know, just doing things that you think are good. Then post them as a finished product. Because people will often also respect a finished product a lot more. You know, when you post something unfinished, you know, it puts people in this mindset that it's broken or needs to be fixed. So they listen in a different way. So post finished things and just tell people, you know, have a listen. You can tell me what you think, but this is a finished track. So don't post unfinished things. Secondly, you need to have a clear goal why you are doing what you're doing. If you're making videos, or if you're making music, or if you're doing some other creative work, you need to have a clear goal, a theme, or a project that you're working towards in some way. Because if you don't, you know, the feedback will be pretty much the only thing that will grant you some, you know, some pleasure in the process. That's you know, it's very easy to end up there as a beginner because you don't have anything else to focus on. You know, when I started out making music for mp3.com, which was a very big site before MySpace and so on, that had a lot of music. So that was my goal. I didn't ask for feedback. I didn't ask people if what I was doing was right or wrong. I just posted it and looked at the numbers. Were people listening? Did they enjoy it? And that's sort of where you need to focus. How are people receiving what you're doing? So find a project goal or theme or something, you know, to keep your eyes fixated on, your mind fixated on, and work towards that. And then when you have that, you know, you just put things out there, let other people decide if it's good or bad, and try to find your audience instead of finding people to give you feedback. But okay, let's say you really need help. Or let's say you really need to improve. How do you do that? Well, firstly, I would say ask people for feedback about certain things, not a song in particular that you've made, but rather how to do different things. Ask people for advice about YouTube tutorials, and look for those people that could be your mentor. Often older, it doesn't have to be an older person per se, but they are often older people who have more experience, or at least a longer experience than you have with the media you're working with, and ask them for advice instead of just asking random people. So look at people that do similar things, that have similar goals or similar mindset like you do, or who do things that you strive to do, and try to connect with them. Try to talk with them and try to see if they can, you know, be of help. And if you can't find people to mentor you, you should at least find a group of people, like-minded people, you know, even if they're at your skill level or even below you, find that group because it will give you energy, inspiration, you know, to have people to talk to. And I think that's something the bedroom, or I'm not in a bedroom now, but I've been in a bedroom studio for at least like 10 years. You know, with bedroom producers, we are lonely creatures in some way. We need to connect with others. We need to be inspired. We need to, you know, have these friendships in order to drive us, you know, forward. So this was my little video on my #1 tip for beginner music producers. If you like this video, slap a like on it. And if you want to support me, you can always head over to patreon.com/BoBeats. So this was Bo, and I thank you so much for watching, and have a pleasant day.